In 2020, Kimberly Guilfoyle, the girlfriend of Donald Trump Jr., gave the speech heard round the world when she enthusiastically and very loudly announced her praise for former President Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention. Now she's making a much more subtle public statement by taking a dig at the new president, Joe Biden, on Twitter. It all started with an interview with People, in which President Biden said, "We're going to run this like the Obama-Biden administration. No one in our family and extended family is going to be involved in any government undertaking or foreign policy, and nobody has an office in this place." News outlet The Hill tweeted an article about the president's statement with the caption, "Biden pledges no family members will work at the White House." Then Arthur Schwartz, who the New York Post once called a GOP operative, quote-tweeted The Hill, stating, referring to the Biden family, "They'll be outside charging admission." The tweet caught Guilfoyle's eye and she decided to chime in. She quote-tweeted Schwartz and simply stated, "Truth," with two finger emojis pointing to the tweet. Maybe Guilfoyle, a former Fox News host and legal analyst, just has sour grapes over the election results? After all, she watched with tears in her eyes as her boyfriend's father, former President Donald Trump, gave his last speech as president on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2021. Though a handful of people seemed to agree with her, far more disagreed and derided Guilfoyle, with users saying, "This is embarrassing, even for you," and "Who are you again?" But to those who support President Biden and his family, perhaps take Michelle Obama's famous words about the opposition to heart. "When they go low, we go high." Kimberly Guilfoyle's Twitter jab about the alleged nepotism within Joe Biden's family isn't the only time she has lashed out against the 46th POTUS and his administration, even following his January 2021 inauguration. Much like how her boyfriend's father, former President Donald Trump, raised a stink over the 2020 presidential election results through the very month of Biden's inauguration, Guilfoyle has not backed away from the political spotlight. For example, on February 2nd, 2021, Guilfoyle quote-tweeted the former acting director of national intelligence, Richard Grenell, the country's first openly gay director of national intelligence and cabinet member. Grenell tweeted, quote, "fake news" to an ABC News Twitter report, hailing Mayor Pete Buttigieg of South Bend, Indiana, as the first openly gay cabinet member to be confirmed by the Senate. Grenell is actually wrong because the keywords are "by the Senate" and "cabinet member." You see, Grenell wasn't approved by the Senate for his DNI position, but he was when appointed U.S. ambassador to Germany. Look, it's all a bit confusing, but if you think that Guilfoyle wouldn't chip in her 2 cents on the perhaps error made by the news outlet, you're not following along. America will always be grateful for the tremendous service of Richard Grenell. The media is going to attempt to rewrite history and ignore the progress made by President Trump. We can't let them. It looks like Guilfoyle won't be going away anytime soon. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about politics are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.